Fire Rescue, what's the location of your emergency?
Montana and 441.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I'm just at the corner, and there's a huge fire and black smoke coming out of it behind the gas station. It doesn't look like it's associated with the gas station, but it's pretty close.
Okay, and you can't tell what's on fire?
No, I'm going back there right now to see if I can not get close, but see if I can see something. It's huge. It looks like a warehouse. It's just west of 441.
Predominantly in our zone we have residential, so I initially thought it could have been a false alarm. So we made our way out to the truck, and I'm trying to think of the dispatched area of what commercial we had in that zone. As we were getting dressed, my driver, who's normally very high speed, said in a very slow voice, "Oh my goodness."
It's exploding. It's getting really big. Ooh.
Do you know if anyone is in the warehouse, ma'am?
I can't tell. I'm on the street on 441.
Once we did go arrival, we found out it was a wood shavings plant, and it was fully involved upon our arrival from north to south, full of fire. So immediately we went defensive. We pulled our apparatus up to an area where there was an exposure, which was the office building of the dispatch address, and fire was closely going to impinge on that. It's a heavy industrial area, multiple pine trees, unprocessed, getting ready to be processed, mounds and mounds of wood shavings throughout the property as well as inside the property. There was front-end loaders, bulldozers, just heavy industrial equipment.
Oh, you need to get out of here.
Okay, yeah, they have to drive there. Stay away from the building. Keep a safe distance from the building. We have help on the way to you, okay?
The initial plan was to protect the exposure, which was the Delta 1 exposure. It was the office building for the plant. There were several tractor trailers adjacent on the Delta exposure. There was no saving those, though. There was heavy fire impinging on those. I started my initial 360 of the property just to make sure, just to size up what was burning. Once I made my way around to the Alpha side, the Alpha Bravo corner, I noticed there were down power lines. So you always treat down power lines as live, so I advised dispatch we do have down power lines as a safety precaution. After that, the main priority was getting a water supply. So we just started delegating who's going to get the water supply, lay into us, where proper placement of the aerial apparatus, because again, it was a defensive operation. We had two hydrants, one to the east and one to the west of the incidents, and the engines coming in did a great job of tapping those hydrants and laying into the apparatus that were on the scene to supply us with water. The main thought process as a first arriving officer is obviously scene safety, crew safety is paramount. On this particular fire, there was a heavy fire load inside the structure as well as surrounding the structure. So after initially protecting the Delta exposure, the priority was protecting the other exposures as well. And of course, scene safety and crew safety is also paramount. Everyone was advised to keep back from the fire. It was heavy heat signatures coming off of this fire, so nobody was getting too close to the fire. And again, the 360, making sure there's no other down power lines other than what was on the Alpha Bravo corner. In the back, more exposures, untreated logs ready to be processed. We didn't want those to light off. Luckily, it was in the morning time. There wasn't a lot of wind, so we didn't have to worry about flying embers starting a fire half a mile away. So we got lucky in that aspect that it was very calm that day. Dispatch typically does a great job responding to structure fires. They'll give us hydrant info. They'll also give us information as to if the house is occupied or if it's unoccupied. They may state something like, caller says she's the owner of the house, everybody's out. So that's a big relief on our part. That's one less thing we have to worry about. However, we will still go inside to confirm that. And this particular incident, no workers were present. I believe the first arriving worker unlocked the gate for us, and we were able to proceed right inside the gate. But nobody was inside working or processing wood shavings at the current time. The main thing in approaching this type of fire, or any fire for that matter, is the key is to stay calm. Calmness is contagious. If you're very frantic on the radio, that kind of sets the tone for the incoming units. So I strive to stay calm on the radio, to portray that calmness. The other thing is just to slow down, think before you make actions. Every action has a reaction. You want to make the right action so you don't cause any more damage than good. I was very fortunate on this fire to stay in the command structure. Once the district chief arrived and assumed command, I transitioned over to the IC aide, the incident commander aide. So I was able to see how he runs his tactical board and to see his thought processes, rotating crews in and out of the structure or in the area, if you will, seeing how the whole command structure evolves from start to finish. So that was very beneficial. We've got great command staff here, and it was a real asset to be able to learn from them. In any incident that is significant in nature, it's always going to be hectic, but you try to control that. Especially on this particular incident, it's a big fire. Multiple units can see it coming from far away, so everyone gets excited. Everybody wants to get in the game, so everyone's calling on the radio asking for an assignment. So it's important to think ahead, assign your resources accordingly. And here at Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, we use the NIMS format, which is fantastic in the way that it keeps people accountable, and it also allows the incident commander to know where the units are, what function they're performing. So from an accountability, from a safety standpoint, that's a great system that we have implemented here at the county. Another great resource we have here at Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is our volunteer battalion. And the volunteers arrived during the initial call, and they were willing to work right from the get-go. And they do a great job with their willingness to work, and they're very hard workers. Once the scene and the main bulk of the fire was extinguished and the frontline apparatus were released, the volunteers are the ones who stay back to check for any spot fires, check for any rekindling. So that's a great asset we have here at Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. And they can also check it throughout the night, as well as frontline apparatus will go back periodically to make sure there is no rekindle or fires that have started in different areas surrounding the incident. Everybody on scene did a great job. You know, on scene, everybody remained calm. And again, if everybody remains calm and everybody knows what they're supposed to do, the call goes so much better. And everything was smooth. The radio communications were smooth. The assignments were given out accordingly. And the call went great from start to finish.